Forget to subscribe and turn on the notification.
In Capital News tonight, Tanzania to continue to protect natural resources. TANESCO affected by water shortage at hydroelectric stations. And in sports, Timber Warriors into World Cup quarterfinals after 3-1 win against Japan. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's get things started with the national news. The Prime Minister of Tanzania, Kassim Majaliwa, has said that Tanzania will continue to protect natural attractions and ensure they bring in the productivity expected by all tourism stakeholders in the world. The Prime Minister said this while opening the 65th United Nations World Tourism Organization Africa Commission General Meeting being held in Arusha.
Tanzania is proud to be amongst countries blessed with natural and non-natural tourist attractions that attract tourists from all over the world. Such attractions include Mount Kilimanjaro, the tallest mountain in Africa, but we also have Ngorongoro Crater, known as the Eden of Africa. We also have Spice Islands in Zanzibar. We have cultural tourism too. We also have cultural tourism enterprises for women and handicrafts. You will visit and see how Tanzania practices tourism. We focus on building capacity in our experts on markets and tourism in public and private sectors so as to enable them to continue to promote Tanzania.
This is my first time in Tanzania. Country status as a destination is well-known culture, and of course, to experience the warm hospitality of the land of Uhuru na Umoja, freedom and unity. Now is the time to back the sector.
Tanzania energy supply company TANESCO has said that they have been affected by climate change, a situation which has forced them to shut down 6 hydroelectric stations in the afternoon due to water shortage, forcing them to wait until nighttime when water increases to produce electricity.
Shirika la umeme tumeathirika kwa namna moja au nyingine kwa sababu tuna vituo ambavyo vinazalisha umeme.
This has affected us because we have centers that produce hydroelectric power such as Kihansi, Mtera and Kidatu, and they are centrally located, but they are those in northern region. And this is one of such centers that we have to switch off in the afternoon so as to allow water to fill up. So this has affected us.
Either hizi nyaya zinaibiwa au mafuta transformer yanaibiwa.
What must we do to deal with these challenges which are affecting us in one way or another? One project is to be completed in 2024, but there are those since last year that were prioritized in order to address this challenge. Last year we announced the startup of a new Ubungo 3 gas center, and it is generating electricity fed into the national grid.
Lakini kwa sasa hivi kwa mkoa wa Geita wamebaki wachache na tunategemea mpaka tarehe 15 mpaka tarehe 20.
We hope by the 15th we would have completed.
The government will not stop the sale of farmers' crops outside the country, even if there has been an increase in food prices. This is in order to ensure farmers do not have losses and that they have reliable markets for their crops.
tutafute njia ya kuishusha, lakini sio kuishusha kwa kutia umaskini mkulima.
If the price of food goes up, we must find a way to bring it down, but not to do so by making the farmer poor. I will not close borders because the price is high. What you must tell me is where the price is up, then I will ask NFRI to come and open the reserve and take it where the price is up so that it is sold on lower price. In Singida region, no fertilizer will be sold which is not from the grant. And in order to get fertilizer from the grant, you must be registered. I'm asking the government to look at a way to test the soil to know the right type of seed and fertilizer.
Various citizens, including lorry owners and transporters, have said that it is the right time for the government to start construction of a new direct transport route to Congo, as the country has a larger number of cargo coming from Tanzania in comparison to other countries, so as to stop constant challenges they face, including being stranded at the Tunduma border that passes through Zambia to get to Congo and clearance delays.
Kwa upande wetu wa serikali nafikiri ni wakati mwafaka na inaendelea kuhamisha zile hisia za kwamba ni wakati mwafaka wa kutafuta njia mbadala ya kufika Kongo. Umeona, serikali inatakiwa ione jinsi gani ya kuwekeza kwa haraka, kwa sababu kinachoendelea na Konde ni kitu ambacho si sawa. Bandari yetu ya Dar es Salaam haiwezi kufikia uwezo wa tani milioni 40 kama Kongo haiwezi kuchukua huo mzigo, sababu Kongo ni mdau mkubwa.
Tuanze kuona kwamba tunawasaidia wenzetu wa Kongo upande wa DRC kufanya rehabilitation zao za bandari zao ili kuepuka usumbufu ambao tumekuwa tunaupata mara kwa mara.
And President Samia Suluhu Hassan has wished all students who are sitting for the Standard 7 national examinations in Tanzania the best of luck and success. The president is in Doha, Qatar, on the second day of a state visit and had the opportunity to visit Sidra Hospital, which provides various specialist treatments. Of Kashenye village, Misenyi district, Kagera region, have asked the government to strengthen preventative education systems as well as health services in the village, as it is one of the unofficial routes used by Ugandan citizens to enter the country in the region.
Hapa sisi tuko rango kuu.
The dispensary offers limited care. We are asking you, Honorable Minister, not to wait for the disease to spread. We're asking that more is done before that happens. If more people can come in order to boost up health, it is better because the illness spreads quickly. I'm happy that you've been honest and told me that even AIDS started here. It came from Uganda to this place. And I would not be a good minister of health if I fail to better health service in this area. Honorable Councillor, find us an area so that we put more effort here. To impart knowledge to leaders, village elders and community health workers and other groups. We will go and speak with them.
Tanzania Gender Networking Program, TGNP, has said that every Tanzanian must reflect deeply on the ongoing gender violence incidents in the country, as there is no progressive development if incidents continue without being vehemently condemned.
Ni muhimu tukumbuke pia kuwa miongoni mwa masuala yanayokwamisha wanawake na makundi ya pembezoni.
It is important to remember that some of the issues that prevent women and marginalized groups from taking part in development activities include misleading and oppressive beliefs, more so on gender violence, which today we speak strongly against.
Tuko hapa kuwaunga mkono TGNP kwenye masuala ya wanawake
We're here to support you on women issues, and more so on how to empower women economically. Would like to encourage women of Same to join hands with this organization and speak against misleading beliefs.
Na nyie kila mama akikuletea wewe akikupiga tu wewe njoo kwa mkuu wa mkoa pale.
Women, if he beats you, come to the regional commissioner and I will tell him to beat me and see if he is able to. There is no benefit in mutilating girls. They use the same tool to mutilate up to 15 girls, which is not safe. Let us not beat women. We must be kind to them.
And the president of Zanzibar and chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, has sworn into office at State House. Government officials he appointed this week as part of the continuous move to strengthen the Eight Faiths government.
Mgeni Jailani Jecha na hapa kwamba katika utekelezaji wa kazi zangu
za mrajis wa Mahakama Kuu Zanzibar,
na kwa vyovyote vile sitatoa siri za Serikali ya Mapinduzi ya Zanzibar.
Jana mikakati sasa ya kupambana na uhalifu wa aina zote ikiwemo udhalilishaji wa kijinsia.
We have plans to fight all types of crime, including on gender violence. Director of Prosecution begins work after investigation is complete. What is important is to make sure there is cooperation between all relevant bodies, such as the police and Zyka.
Kwanza kusimamia fedha za umma.
To manage public funds in justice and according to ethics by every leader that handles public finance.
kwa sababu tayari mahakama tuko katika.
The court is in the process of making improvements and challenges have been identified. We have done an assessment on areas where improvements are needed. So what we are doing now is to see how we are going to address such challenges.
And that is all for the national news. International news is next. And in international news, South Korea and the United States have carried out a series of missile drills in response to North Korea's first ballistic missile launch over Japan since 2017.
The suspected intermediate-range ballistic missile flew about 4,600 kilometers on Tuesday morning before falling into the Pacific, the longest flight for any North Korean test. In Japan, where residents of northeastern areas heard sirens and were sent warnings to take shelter, the launch was condemned by Prime Minister Fumio Kishida as barbaric. South Korea and the U.S. also condemned the test, and all three countries warned of a tough response. On Wednesday, South Korean and U.S. forces fired 4 surface-to-surface missiles into the sea. The two allies also held a bombing drill off the peninsula's west coast involving 8 fighter jets, hours after the North Korean test on Tuesday.
Another round of counter-demonstrations have been organized in support of the Iranian state as protests that formed after the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini in police custody on September 16 approached the end of their third week. Here's more on the report.
Pro-government demonstrations in northern Tehran began in the early afternoon on Wednesday and are expected to last several hours. Like the previous rounds, they were announced via state media and mass text messages and were expected to condemn recent riots and crimes of seditionists. Wednesday marked the 19th day since the start of the protests, during which dozens have been killed and many arrested.
The counter-offensive continues in Ukraine, with Ukrainian troops retaking more territory in regions illegally annexed by Russia in the south near the city of Kherson, and in the east where they have been consolidating their gains, while Russia held sham referendums to legitimize their presence. We have Emmanuel Shaz from our partner Deutsche Welle with more. Emmanuel, you've recently been in liberated cities of the northeastern region, Kharkiv. Can you tell us what you've witnessed there?
Well, you know, what we see from official sources are scenes of joy and flags being raised at the entrance of cities. When you drive to those places, when you start to talk to people, well, the reality is also that of cities completely devastated. There's a lot of destruction. You know, all the roads have been shelled as well. So you see craters all along the road. You see burnt cars. You see destroyed houses, destroyed schools, and I was in the recently liberated city of Izium, where unfortunately the Ukrainian armed forces uncovered mass graves. So there were over 450 bodies which had been recovered. We were there on the second day of those bodies being exhumed. They all bore traces of torture. So the reality in those liberated cities is a very dark one as well. The inhabitants could talk to other people who couldn't escape Russian occupation. They often don't have running water. They don't have electricity.
And Russia has recently held so-called referendums in occupied territories that are neither recognized by the international community nor by Ukraine itself. Will the results change anything on the ground for one side or the other?
In those regions, so a very, very dire situation in the aftermath of the Russian occupation.
And there is more and more talk of use of nuclear weapons by Russia against Ukraine. What do you make of it?
In the next weeks, in the months to come.
Thank you, Emmanuel Shaze, for that update. That is the end of international news. Business news follows after this break. Welcome back, and now in business news. Tanzania will for the first time export processed cashew nuts by using packaging materials manufactured in Zanzibar to the United States of America. The cashew nut packaging materials are manufactured by a factory in Zanzibar, the only one so far to have met international standards.
This has never happened in the American market. For years we've been trying to get into the market, but we were not able to. But now we've succeeded in exporting cashew nuts in small packages, and in the value chain, this is where there is money. Tanzania now has begun to sell consumer packaged products. We're going to sell in retail market. This is a big step in cashew nut market. WHT has made this possible for us.
And NMB Bank has said that it will continue to cooperate with the government and other stakeholders to economically empower Tanzanians, as well as bring down interest rates. This is to enable more people to access loans for business activities.
Na sisi pia ni muda wa kuangalia zile ahadi zetu.
It is time to check on our promises as NMB, where we are at. Last year we had similar customer service celebrations, and we get customer certificate of service. So we want our customers to check whether we fulfilled our promises. We believe our presence as NMB is because of you.
Tunajua dunia yote sasa hivi inaenda kitehama.
We know the world now is digitalized, and anyone who does not want to be digital will be out of time, because now you can do many things yourself using information and technology. NMB has been at the forefront to take us forward digitally.
More than 50 companies from Tanzania participating in a tourism expo in Nairobi, Kenya, which have also drawn participants from Kenya, Rwanda and Uganda. The one-week expo was opened by the Cabinet Secretary of Tourism in Kenya, Najib Balala.
Tanzania sasa hivi tumekuwa sana kiutalii, tumekuwa sana kiuchumi, na ukiangalia sana kwamba Tanzania tuna destination nyingi sana za utalii. Kwa hiyo kwa sababu ya hizo destination za kiutalii zaidi, ndio maana tuko hapa kuwaelewesha wananchi walioko Kenya au wahudumu wote waliofika hapa na makampuni ya utalii ambayo yako ndani ya banda hili, kuwaelewesha vituo vya utalii tulivyonavyo nchini kwetu na jinsi ya Tanzania inaweza kufanya urahisi wao kufikia katika vituo hivyo kiurahisi sana na kwa bei nafuu sana.
That is where we leave off with business news. Sports news is next. Now in sports. The Tanzania amputee national team, Tembo Warriors, has qualified for the World Cup quarter-finals after defeating Japan by 3-1. Tembo Warriors' goals were scored by Salum Rashid, Sembele Shedrack and Alfan Kianga. And Police Tanzania FC have entered a contract worth 50 million shillings with Prophet Claire Melissa of Heaven of Peace Kingdom Embassy. Here's more.
The club will receive water and prayers from the Heaven of Peace Kingdom Embassy Church, with Prophet Claire Melissa insisting prayers are also crucial for the team to perform. It is clear the team needs prayers. It is only 2 points after 5 games, sitting 14th in the playoffs in the relegation zone.
Emma Raducanu lost to the 5th seed Daria Kasatinka in her opening match at the Ostrava Open in Czech Republic. Here's the report.
There was no sign of any strapping after Raducanu withdrew during her semi-final against Yelena Ostapenko in Korea a week and a half ago with another muscle injury. The British #1 produced some good moments against her Russian opponent, ranked 11th in the world and one of the game's best defenders, but she paid for too many errors in a 7-5, 6-4 defeat. Raducanu, who will be 20 next month, recovered from a loose start to lead 3-2 in the first set and looked to be the one applying more pressure until Kasatkina broke through to lead 5-4. Raducanu responded well with a break of her own, only to drop serve again. And this time, Kasatkina, who has been the most outspoken Russian player against the invasion of Ukraine, clinched the set.
And Ukraine will join Spain's and Portugal's bid to co-host the 2030 World Cup in a move sanctioned by the country's President Volodymyr Zelensky. Here is more.
Confirmation of the partnership is expected at a news conference today. It is understood that Ukraine, which has been under full-scale invasion by Russia since 24th of February, will host one of the tournament's groups if the bid is successful. Spain and Portugal confirmed 2 years ago that they will make a joint proposal to host in 2030, and the addition of Ukraine will give it a new dimension. Although Ukraine's national team are playing their home matches in Poland and the domestic league, which restarted successful in August, is taking place behind closed doors, there is confidence that any security concerns will be far less pronounced in 8 years' time.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, my name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching and have a good night.